Attack of the Killer Cluckers. A Jack Magsasaka tale. The snow began to fall before the sun was up. We knew the snow was coming because the weather forecast had been telling us we would be getting some snow, but we didn't know how much. I woke up in the spare bedroom all by myself, even though I'd been sharing the double bed with my grandparents, Lola and Pocky. I knew Pocky had left the bed in the middle of the night because the bed was so crowded that Lola told him he was taking up too much room. Even though the truth is that Lola was taking up most of the bed, but I also knew Lola had stayed in the bed with me because we'd cuddled after Pocky had gone to my room to sleep by himself in my twin bed. Even though the curtains were closed, I could tell the sun was up. I could tell because while the curtains do a good job of keeping the room dark, a little light still shines through, which is okay because the window is behind the bed, not in front of it. I got out of bed and went to the bedroom door to leave, but as I reached for the doorknob, I remembered to be sure not to leave the door open because Lola doesn't like our cats, Old Tom, Fabulosa, and Thorin, or our dog Casey to come in the room and lie in the bed because they shed. A lot. I was being very careful as I opened the bedroom door, careful to make sure the cats and dogs stayed out of the room, that is. But as the door started to swing open, I had a crazy surprise. Oh, the cats and dog were fine, but all of a sudden behind me, the bedroom window broke into 100 pieces and 10 crazy clucky chickens flew into the room through the broken window and started to cluck, cluck, cluck while they strut, strut, strut. I flung the bedroom door open, ran through the doorway, then slammed it shut behind me, thinking the closed door would keep me and everyone else in the house safe from those crazy in the head yolko pollo. But even as I ran, I heard the sound of feathers flying as the chickens furiously flapped their wings, formed the fabled chicken triangle, and using their beaks rapid fire, peck, 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 peck through the door like piranha swimming through a river and eating all the flesh off the fish. Running for dear life, I turned just long enough to see the swarm preparing to give chase. And it was then that I knew all the way down to the depths of my marrow that these were no ordinary cluckers getting ready to fly down the hall. Oh no! These chickens were attack chickens. And when attack chickens swarm, you either run or face death by pack. Seeing the flock in attack formation, I knew it was up to me to save everyone in my house from the slow, hideous death by chicken peck. With the realization that these were attack chickens gone wild, I knew just how lucky I'd been to have received hours and hours of anti-chicken defense training in my kindergarten class at Sunshine Scholar School. Oh, those cluckers had caught me off guard, but I had faith in my chicken defense training that was about to come in very handy. My recovery was nearly instantaneous, and thanks to the killer clucker attack chicken drills at school, I did not panic. I did not. Sunshine had been drilling for a month now in response to the chicken flu that's been sweeping Iowa, and Colonel Sanders, our school's crazy clucking chicken defense coordinator, had made it clear that crazy cluck attack chickens are no joke, and that it's everyone's job to be prepared to handle a chicken emergency. A prudent precaution made abundantly clear via the crazy cluckers currently breaking into my house. Luckily for me, I would not have to fight these chickens all by myself. Running down the hall to get away from the crazy cluckers, I hollered, Pocky, Pocky, Lola, help! It's the attack of the killer cluckers, as I kept one eye forward, one eye back, and an extra eye I kept in my pocket in times for troubles just like this, towards the ceiling in case those cluckers tried dive bombing me. I heard Pocky holler back, what are you hollering about? 1/1000th of a split second before old Casey came sliding around the corner, her paws slipping under her on the hardwood floor. She ran to help me. Oh, in case I didn't come alone. Oh, no. She had our cat Thorin riding on her back. Old Tom came scurrying around the corner next, but of course, Fabulosa couldn't be bothered. Pocky made it to the south side of the living room just as I entered the north, and I hollered, killer cluckers, and I sprang up in the air and grabbed my dad's otter cosplay sword from where it hung horizontally from its display hooks. Mom and Dad had hung Dad's sword at a height they figured I'd never be able to reach unless I stood on a chair or stool. But with those crazy cluckers swarming fast, I was able to jump high, grab it from its hook, and land facing the ferocious flock of chickens as though I were a ninja born and trained. Watch out, I yelled to Pocky and friends, spinning midair and landing with both feet spread wide and sword held at the ready, just as I'd learned by fighting creepers in Minecraft. What in tarnation's going on in here? Pocky yelled as he surveyed the chaotic hurly-burly tornado swirl of the chickens heading in for the attack with me standing with sword raised high, ready to battle the 10 cluckers. Avian flu's a big to-do, I yelled over my shoulder, keeping my eyes on our would-be feathered fighters. This flock's a real plane! They smashed the window panes in the spare bedroom, then pecked their way through the bedroom door in a flash in order to dispatch us to the deep fryer in the sky. What in the flock? Pocky yelled. Who let these chickens in here and who's going to get them out? Got it under control, I said, flashing my sword just like that guy in the Indiana Jones movie, just before Indy takes him out with a single shot. Pocky watched, bewilderment not only all over his face, but all over his whole being as the filthy flock began circling me, clucking their dire warning of my soon-to-be dispatched demise. Thorn came rushing in between my feet to help me in my ferocious foul fight as case of bark, bark, bark support loudly enough to wake a fresh crop of creepers. But just before I was about to go down swinging out of scimitar, I see Fabulosa help up on the couch next to me and start meowing her brains out. What in tarnation, I thought, repeating Pocky's question in my head as I kept my peepers on the flock of fowl. But regardless of my confusion, the battle I thought was about to go down stopped as Fabulosa's mewing reached the ears of the flock, meowing that miraculously caused the flock to stop mid-flight and drop like chicken poop to the hardwood. Just as the tableau froze, the front door opened and Lola popped in, her hat, coat, and gloves covered self through the front door, a look of "What the hat?" written all over her face. Even as Lola opened the door, the chickens and Fabulosa continued to exchange words, meows and clucks, until all of a sudden the chickens looked at one another and then hurried towards and through the open front door, exiting as quickly, though with far less property damage, as they'd arrived less than 3 minutes earlier. Words of disbelief were added to Lola's look of incredulity, words that began with, What? What is going on in here? I go outside to shovel the driveway, and you invite a fighting flock of chickens to fly around the house? This is flocking ridiculous. Don't look at me, Pocky said with a shrug. I was reading a story about some charity bike race in New York City that takes place in 1970 when I heard Jack hollering and came running, he exclaimed before sheepishly asking, did you see Fabulosa talking to those chickens out of here? What? No! Oh my goodness, I can't take you anywhere! Jack, you need to get ready for school. I promised your dad and Libby we'd take you. Have you had breakfast yet? No, I replied, shaking my head and trying to recall another time when I'd have sworn my pets had talked to me and I could understand what they were saying. But no matter how hard I tried, I just couldn't remember. I'll get dressed. Oh! I added over my shoulder, the chickens broke the window in the spare bedroom, a declaration that made Pocky's shoulders slump as he sighed, looked at Lola, and shook his head. Driving me to school 5 minutes later, a reporter on the radio was delivering a breaking news story that declared that apparently multiple flocks of chickens throughout the greater Des Moines area had broken into nearby Chick-fil-A, Kentucky Fried Chicken, and Popeyes, broken through the plate glass window, and pooped all over the tables and counters, and how the unprecedented attack was tentatively being blamed on a new variant of avian flu that was sweeping the Midwest.